Hello, today is the anniversary of the birth in 1719 of Leopold Mozart, Wolfgang Mozart's father, a teacher and composer, not a terribly successful one, so that when he discovered his son's prodigious talents, he organised concert tours around the main cities of Europe. On one occasion, the tour was to Paris, but this time Leopold didn't himself go as chaperone, but Wolfgang Mozart's mother went, Anna Maria. And sadly, after a few months there, she developed a serious illness and died. Uh, Mozart, meanwhile, had been spending a lot of money and enjoying life as a young man in Paris, built up some debts, and it's thought that perhaps he didn't have enough money to call the medical help required in time to save his mother's life. Whatever the reason, he certainly felt guilty about it. He felt it was his fault that she died. And Leopold felt the same. He told his son that he was to blame for his mother's death, and that he was to come home, and that if he didn't come home and repay the debts that he owed his father, he'd kill his father too. And so Mozart, under this double whammy of manipulation by his father and guilt for the death of his mother, can't have been having a good time in Paris. But it made me think about the process of manipulation and the way in which we can be manipulated, often in ways that are not that obvious, although sometimes it is more obvious. I suppose that's what we call gaslighting these days, but sometimes it can be done much more subtly. But one of the techniques that is used to manipulate us, and people can do it unconsciously, of course, is to build on our sense of guilt, on the fact that we blame ourselves for something that we've done. Now, obviously, blaming ourselves is appropriate. If we are at fault, we need to own it, but we don't need to let it linger. We need to put it behind us, to forgive ourselves, make amends if we can, but not allow it to become part of our psyches. Because once we begin to feel guilty in a more permanent way, we open ourselves up to being manipulated. People can play on that. They can play on our sense of guilt, on the sense that we blame ourselves, and make us do things, say things in a way that we wouldn't otherwise do. And so today I just wanted to check that I'm not feeling guilty about anything, blaming myself for something that I haven't dealt with and put behind me by forgiving myself for it. Because if I haven't put it behind me, then it can easily become a weapon in someone else's attempts to make us do things, say things that are otherwise not what we do or say.